doing an open house, do I have to have an agent? Do I have to have the client sign buyer brokers? I'm like, no, it's you're there as a facility of the seller. You just have to disclose to them that you're there to protect the seller and you're there to support the seller only and not there to help them. So definitely an interesting conversation and worth the conversation is saying, hey, you know, you don't need to sign up a buyer broker because you're not there representing the buyer. If
Starting
you want to.
standing with our stomach vacuum, but this time we're doing 3 sets of 10-second holds.
Get it,
Yeah,
Mark.
10-second holds, Mara. 3 sets. 10-second holds. Proud of you.
But now she's embarrassed.
No, it's Mara. She knows better. She's like, oh, I muted you for you. I'm proud of her. She's doing some exercise in the morning? Heck yeah. Let's get it, girl.
I muted when I got on. I don't know what happened. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. You know we don't care. It's not a serious environment, just life or death. That's all.
Life and death.
Both life and death. You're right. So it's Thursday. I like to think this is Thor's day, so we can work on objections, difficult situations, rough thoughts. What do you got for us this morning? My kids are out of school for rodeo for today and tomorrow, so
Your
interesting
whole
time.
town shut down for rodeo.
Most of it, yeah.
I lived in a town like that. It's fun.
We got lids.
The rodeo is right by my house. They closed down the main road, and so I'm seeing city buses go down and so much traffic. It's very weird. So I am, to be 100% completely honest, really frustrated with life in real estate right now, and I don't know how to get out of my head with that.
Tell me more.
I hadn't have a closing in months, and I feel like I wasn't the greatest at follow-up. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, but I've been working really hard on that for probably the last 2 months. And I hold open houses 2 a weekend, but it just feels like I'm doing the work and nothing's hitting, and I'm frustrated.
Anyone else ever felt like that? Mikey's got both hands up, right? Seasons of change. Lydia, you're not alone. And it's okay to feel frustrated. The one thing it's not okay to do is quit. In those times of frustration, it's like, man, everything I do doesn't yield anything. Well, you just told me you've been doing it active, heavy hitting it for 2 months. What's the average turnaround in our business?
For what do you mean? Like to get clients to call back?
No, to get someone like how frequent do people make decisions? If you were to get a client today, right now, what's the likelihood of you getting paid in 30 days?
30, 60, 90.
Yeah. It's typically a 90-day turnaround, which is 3 months. Your month two.
Hopefully you hit a cash buyer.
Hopefully, right?
I look at it this way, guys, and I really do believe in the effort doesn't go to shame, doesn't go to waste. Just like an avalanche, right? Snow falls on the mountain in steady rhythm. If anyone doesn't know what snow is, it's the fine white stuff that's really cold, kind of wet
You people are confused.
for you Tucson people. But here's the thing is avalanche happens when enough snow accumulates. So as real estate agents or any business owners or anything that you're working towards, you're slowly throwing effort at the mountain. You're doing your lead gen, you're doing your follow-up, you're doing your open houses, you're doing your marketing, you're doing the things that you're supposed to do. And if you're doing them consistently, like a recipe, there's an expectation that's going to come from it. And I like to look at this as the avalanche effect is I'm constantly throwing things at the mountain. I'm constantly throwing things up against this ridge. I'm piling on more and more and more snow. What triggers an avalanche? I just said it. When enough snow accumulates in the same space, it breaks free. And when that breaks free, and when that energy culminates into a snowball, that's coming down the mountain. It picks up more and more speed. We've all seen the cartoons of the giant snowball coming down the mountain. What stops it?
Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, true. But other than that, nothing. Nothing stops it. It's unstoppable. It's momentum. When we feel the most frustrated with our business because nothing seems to work, we got to go back to basics. We got to go back to the things that we were successful at before and do them consistently. We saw an article a couple of weeks ago that the US real estate market is the lowest it has been in 30 years. That's not only affecting buyers and sellers, it's affecting the people that work alongside of them, us. So I don't have my book Shift with me, it's at the office, but what does the book Shift tell you to do in a shifting market?
Shift your strategies.
Double down. Look at things differently. Find an alternative. If you're doing 2 hours a day lead gen, you might need to buckle up, do 3 or 4.
We gotta hunt for motivated even more so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the shift that we're really feeling right now. I'm in the same boat. I haven't had a closing since October. And we had four in the works in December, and all 4 of them fell through in the same week. And I've been, plus things that were happening in personal life. It's just been a way to claw back still from that. And now we're finally gaining some traction. We've got a listing going live this week. I should have a listing going live next week. However, they're not responding to the listing documents now. We've got a buyer under contract. He was one of them in December that postponed. Just like Dan said, it's the seasons of change. I mean, there's so much that's gone on in our world with people's psyches and everything like that. Unfortunately, we can't force them, but the motivated ones are still moving.
Yeah. There's still people out there making decisions. Gary Keller said in the market update, his vision speech, that he's expecting to see the same business this year that we saw last year, around the 4.142 million sales. Lydia, you're not alone. There's going to be a ton of agents out there that are frustrated. But the beautiful thing is I know you're not one of those agents to give up. So those that get out of this business, the ones that get frustrated, throw their hands up and say, you know what, F it, I quit. I'm going to go back to McDonald's. Good. Go. I would love to promote you to customer. Get out of the business. Make room for us.
But stay in touch with them for referrals.
Yeah. I have seen agents on every side of the success spectrum tell me the same thing. There are teams out there that have had the best year ever last year. And there are teams out there that folded completely. The difference being, how much snow did they pile on top of the mountain? Were they shoveling while everyone else sitting on the couch watching Netflix? Were they out there huffing buckets of powder when everyone else was tramping off to Vegas? All of us can hear this message deeper. When you go back to basics, it's win. What do you got, Gracie?
I was just going to say, I've felt the same way. I've been getting out of it, but I was in a rut for a really long time, which I expressed to everybody like a few weeks ago. Haven't had a closing since my last one, like 8 months ago or something. And I have been doing all the things as well, but some things, my business model that I've been and door knocking for the open houses in San Diego. Just go after they're on the market, so it's been really hard for me to get an open house. And I kind of was just freaking out because I'm like, oh my god, well, what am I gonna door knock about? Like, I need to get an open house. And then I changed my mindset, which it's kind of hard to do sometimes, but I changed my mindset to shift it to how could I leverage that. So what I've been doing every day instead of doing open houses is handing out market updates. And I was really scared to do that for a long time because an open house was kind of just an excuse for me to knock on somebody's door, like indirectly, if that makes sense, to invite them. And this is really just like straight up, just direct. And it literally says, now's the time to sell on my flyer. And I was just really scared to do that. And it's been actually working out really well. And I'm getting even more contacts than I did for inviting people to my open houses, which I'd still love to do open houses to get buyers since it's typically faster to get closings with that, I feel like. But I think moral of the story is like, I was in the same rut, and I think it's all about changing your mindset and the things that aren't working for you, how you could use that to your leverage, and keep the momentum up when you're stuck in positions like this.
We talked about ruts a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago now. You guys remember that conversation? Ruts, right? Ruts become the most mentally damaging things that we experience in our careers and our lives because we feel like we're stuck. We're stuck in a rut. How do you get out of a rut? You got to
Lock
change.
the hubcaps.
What was that, Jason?
Lock the hubcaps.
Yeah, you got to do something different. You got to change directions, shift gears. Ruts happen over time. Being stuck in a rut is different than being stuck in a ditch. A ditch someone else dug. A rut you dug. Let that sink in. People say that all the time, I'm stuck in a rut. Okay. I know it's self-created then. Well, my life's in a ditch. Okay. Who did you let put yourself there, right? Who did you let influence your life to the point where you became stuck in a ditch? But either place requires more effort to get out of than to get into. We put ourselves in ruts in all different avenues of life. But when we feel frustrated with where things are going, like, man, nothing seems to be working. I'm going to challenge that thought with one question. How is this line of thinking benefiting me? How are these thoughts helping me get to where I want to go? The world is filled with opportunities. We have to uncover them. Go ahead, Anthony.
I was going to say, and another thing that keeps you in a rut is your mindset. So you're focusing on all the bad things that are happening or whatever. One way to get out of that rut is stop focusing on that and focusing, even if it's a small win every day. Start getting out of that rut by focusing on your small wins every day, climbing out of that trench, climbing out of that foxhole, whatever you want to call it. It's those small wins that get you through it. I've been there several times, and I'm not just talking about real estate. I'm talking about life. Like, you gotta focus on those little small wins.
We talked about this on Monday, didn't we? We talked about the small things you can do. Like, you guys remember Monday's call, the mindset reset. If you didn't take heed or didn't listen to it, it's on YouTube. Go back into the live and listen to it. Monday's call was about momentum and action. Small action, small pieces of movement forward will get you out. Right? Anyone ever been four-wheel drive and got stuck in the mud? It's not hammering down on the gas that gets you out. It's small bits of traction. Small bits of traction get you unstuck. Small movements, small victories. When we focus on what matters, the positive things. I know this sounds super hocus pocus and hairy-fairy. It's real. Because your body, scientifically proven, your body follows your mind. That's why they've done placebo effects where they've given two groups of people. One get the actual drug, one get a sugar tablet. But they're both told they're the real drug. And that's why the sugar tablet people still see benefits. If our psychology had nothing to do with it, we would see a 0 chance of improvement. So, make this the placebo effect. Every phone call you make is going to help you get the next sell, the next listing, the next closing. Every text you send, this is going to be something. I don't care if your win yesterday is you made 7 phone calls and left 5 voicemails, because that's an improvement over yesterday. And then today your win is you make 8 phone calls and leave 6 voicemails. When you focus on the small wins, they become bigger and bigger. The bold law tells us what we focus on does what?
Expands.
What does that mean? What we focus on expands.
Well, I mean,
You guys stop focusing on my stomach, okay? Fucking tired of it.
it goes both ways. Just like Anthony's saying, you know, I mean, Tuesday my ass was getting kicked 7 ways to Sunday, and end of the day, I had to stop. It was just like I was just every turn, every email, everything was just beating me down. So I ended up just said I'm starting over again tomorrow. And I think that's the biggest thing is just like, you know, Anthony's saying, mindset. You know, even if you're having a bad moment at 9 o'clock this morning, go outside, take a walk, and just reset. You know, just take a break, try to find something else to focus on, and change your mindset. You know, if you're calling expireds, change your mindset to how are you helping them because someone failed them, and you know, just trying to take that route in every call that you make. And that's something I've been working on because I fail at it. I look at the big things of I get in my own way of like, well, they don't want to do it, or they're not going to want to work with me, or whatever the case may be. You have to change your mind into thinking, how are you really going to help them? And, you know, or whatever aspect it is of your life, you got to find that silver lining and focus on that in order to, I don't know, produce that vibe and to be productive with it and be a win. Because I can tell you what, most of my days are not wins. It's a big struggle. So.
I understand the stress. I mean, it sounds weird coming from me. I understand the stress of being broke and not having bills come in. It sounds weird for me to say that because I haven't been there in a long time. Because I work so hard to make sure I have that consistency in place. If I don't have a closing for a couple months, I'm okay because I prepared for it. But it still sucks. But Mikey's absolutely right. You have to look at every day, find the win, shift your mindset to a positive. It can be one of the most difficult things in the world. And I know I make it sound easy by just change the way you're thinking. That's not it. We're dealing with some demons inside that are hard to put to bed. But one of the best ways you can do it is change your space. Go take a walk. Go work from the other side of the couch. Reorganize your office. Spend 20 minutes cleaning your desk, clean your office up, and get back to it.
Because that's a win.
That's a win. It's a small victory. There's a Admiral, God, I can't remember his name. The Make Your Bed guy. Anthony, help me.
I've got it over there. I'd have to get up and go get it.
Admiral McRaven, William McRaven. He's got a book, Make Your Bed. Why does he say make your bed every morning? Well, I'm going to get right back into it. Why am I making it? He goes, no, because if you make your bed in the morning, first thing you do, get out of bed, you make your bed, it's done. You've set yourself up to be successful. You have started the day off with the success, a victory, a win. And if the rest of the day goes to absolute garbage, do you not still have a win for the day? One thing, right? One thing works. I don't make my bed every morning because somebody's still in it. And my wife would probably not like the fact that I'm trying to make the bed with her in it. You guys would see some black and blue on me. Someone would probably call the cops. It would not be fun. So I'm going to just let my bed be messy. But what I do is clean my desk. I start this call. This is my making my bed in the morning. Is showing up here. Because even if the rest of the day goes to absolute shit, I know I've connected with one of you. Earlier, Jim and I thought it was just him and I. And then Robin popped in. Well, hell yeah. And now we're back to a normal load.
No, I was on there as well. I just
Then you got
actually,
off, but
my
then
fat
you left us.
thumb figured something out.
Then you left. You left us. It was like Anthony left us. It's like I can't do this. But as we move forward into this difficult market, that's already we're in the middle of the swamp right now, guys. This is a tough market. We've been in a tough market for months. We got to change our conversations, change up the way we're connecting with people, change up the way we talk to ourselves. Because how energetic are you going to be to find potential prospects if you're stuck in the mindset of nothing's going to close? These guys can't qualify. I can't make anything happen.
I can't lead gen with that. I mean, seriously, I don't want to make the calls or reach out to anybody when my mindset's that way.
No one does, dude. No one. Not even me. Anthony.
Two things. So what he said, we've been in a we've been in a tough market for a few months. I think since 2011, 12-ish, maybe 13, we've been in a great market and maybe a slow couple months. So this is probably the toughest that any of us have had since then. So we got to work harder. We got to push on through. And on top of that, Michael, to answer your question or to go off of your statement, I usually start my calls with the birthday calls. They're high energy, and no one's gonna fucking reject me when I say happy birthday or sing them happy birthday. So I already got 5 wins right off the top, right at the beginning of my morning. The wins are already there.
You know, I got excited when I saw your guys' event yesterday pop up for the Food Truck Fridays, and to me, I just always have thought that was a really awesome thing. So I mean, you know, to me that's an awesome win to start your week off with, knowing that that's coming up.
You do an open house on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday. Do you like doing open houses? Are you excited about the potential of doing the open house? You are the dumbest cat. My cat just fell off the counter, like tried to jump and did not graceful. It's me as a cat. Let's just say that.
I thought you were calling me a cat.
Yeah, no. So when we're excited about something, we got something to look forward to. We have a pep in our step, don't we? We got a little jingle in our jangle. So get excited about the potential, right? Oh man, I have to do lead gen. You're not excited. I get to do lead gen. I get to find some people to talk to. I get to do this. I get to do that. I've got a seller today we're taking pictures for on a listing. I'm not super excited about because this seller is a little on the fucking crazy side. However, I'm excited because I know this leads to better things and great things happen. So I got to find what I'm excited about in the small things. I might be 5% excited, 95% not, but I'm going to focus on that 5% because by the time I get there this afternoon, I'll be upwards of 90%. If given the opportunity to sit and do nothing, I'm going to sit and do nothing. I'm not the hard grinder that's working 24 hours a day. I'm not. I really enjoy my family time. I really enjoy my time doing nothing. So I work really hard so I can have more of that time. But when I'm feeling super down, super lost, super frustrated, my bank account's screaming at me, I know I'm going to have to give up some of the things that I like right now so that I can do more to get me back to where I want to be.
Dan, I had a quick little point too, kind of spinning off what Anthony was talking about, but even Gary Keller, has been doing real estate since, the 1980s. Mo Anderson has been doing it since the 30s. It's just all these older experienced agents talk about up market, down market, like every year we're in this kind of a market. When I was coaching in a room full of new agents, they'd go to team meetings and it'd be doom and gloom from all the experienced agents. Oh, it's a down market. Oh, this market sucks. Oh, my business is down, or whatever. These new agents don't know what the market is. It's just a market. And if we look at it every single day like it's a market and just get to frickin' work, the business happens.
Right
So-
off of that, I got in the market. I became realtor in 2006. Now the market crashed in 2008. I didn't know enough to really take advantage of 2006 and 2007. But I also didn't know enough that it was a bad market. Now I'm not saying I was a top agent or anything, but I was, successfully closing deals, not knowing that we were like really in a bad market because we kind of were in an island. It's not as technology as we are now. So I didn't have the knowledge that I know now about good market, bad market. I just chugged along. Chugged along.
It is,
chugged
yeah, it
along.
was what it was. You went to work, you showed up good work. So all of you, especially you, Lydia, I believe in your ability to be successful. And I know that your hard work will pay off. It is okay to be frustrated with things. It is okay to feel dejected. It is not okay to stop. I believe in real estate, you cannot fail. You can only quit. Because if you do the effort long enough, the results will come. And we don't know how close you are to that snowball effect because that avalanche is about to break. So keep piling it on. If you find yourself in a negative headspace, you all have my phone number. I am willing to sit down with you and have a conversation and get you lined back out. Because the more we find the positive thoughts, the more we find the positive things to focus on, the more that we're going to find them. I come from a racing background. They tell you don't focus on the wall. Because when you focus on the wall, you hit the wall. Because what you focus on expands. Where you go is all determined on what you're looking at. So make sure you're looking at the right things. And if the right things aren't there to see, let's create some small things to make them brighter. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Lydia, thank you so much for being vulnerable and bringing up this message. As you can tell, you're not alone. There's a bunch of people here that love on you and love on each other to make sure that we're all successful, but it's on us to be successful. I don't care what the market is, you can outwork it.
Thanks, everyone.
Find the motivated. What was that, Lids?
Thanks, everyone.
Love you, girl. We got this. Big high five from